man, I clocked $20,000. 20
Wow.
fucking grand, dude. I've never seen 20 grand. Are you kidding me? Dude, I'm so stoked. And you know what, man? If that don't light a fire under your ass to make some calls, my gosh, what's it gonna take?
Hey guys, what's going on? Spencer Van here, and I'm extremely ultra excited about today's video because normally when we do these case study interviews, I go through and they're like 30, 45 minutes long, and I kind of just cut them up to like 10-minute videos so we can put them on YouTube so everybody can watch them, and then the full length is in the members area for all of our students. But I just felt like this one was such an amazing story, literally going from rock bottom, in prison, finding himself, and going out there and having massive success in, literally a month or less with surplus funds, after having the ups and downs of running businesses, and that's just the nature of the game, guys. But his story is absolutely amazing, and so I just wanted to keep the whole thing in there for you guys. So I think I took out like one little 2-minute section, but for the most part, this is going to be the whole story, and I really think you guys are going to enjoy it. So please, guys, take some time, watch this video. It is really going to change things for you, and I think it'll really help you guys out. So hey, have a good one, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Everybody, Spencer Van here. I'm super excited because I am here with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Deal Closer. That's what we call him. That's what I'm calling him now. And before I let him introduce himself, I just want to, because he said, can you give a disclaimer? He does like to curse. As you guys know, I like to curse. So this may not be a family-friendly interview. First of all, how long have you been an entrepreneur? What made you want to become an entrepreneur? And like, what was that journey like?
Oh, wow. Well, I've never been the kind, because I am a little rough around the edges, I've never been the kind that really works well for somebody else. I've always been more of the leader type. Yeah. And so I've always tried to own my own business. I've failed dramatically. You're looking at a 2-time loser to the state of North Carolina. I'm a convicted felon. I've been to prison twice. And so I guess my advice to anybody out there, I can do this, you can do this. All you got to have is a heart for people and a will to succeed.
Absolutely, man. Okay. And so going from that now, and then you said you failed in other businesses as well, or is this your first real run at a business?
No. Oh, we've been down the whole the storage wars thing, buying storage lockers and selling the stuff out of storage lockers, and we did pretty good at that. But then what they don't show you on TV is you end up with a whole lot of shit in your living room, and it's all piled up and you can't get rid of it. Yeah. And so now you're paying for a storage. So yeah, that failed miserably. So yeah, and landscaping businesses, I've kind of it all.
What about real estate? Have you done anything with real estate before this?
No. We were kind of looking to try to get into like fix and flips or stuff like that, and trying to get into lease options, and that's kind of what led us to you in a weird sort of way, in a roundabout way. Yeah. But when you look at it, my credit ain't worth shit, Right. So there's no way nobody's gonna lend me any money. And then I found you guys, and it was just like, wow, it's like this is like the whole other side of things.
Right.
And this is like the side that you really want to be in on. It seems to me like.
Absolutely. Okay. And so then you ended up getting signed up, and you went through the program. And let me ask you this, because one thing I've noticed with a lot of the people who've come through this course and have had success is they sign up and then they take action right away. So when you signed up, how long did it take you guys to go from actually watching the videos to actually making the calls, and what was that process like?
As soon as we signed up, bro, I was stoked. I was ready to go, and it kind of pissed me off that I couldn't go through the training like one right after the other, because I told her, I was like, when we sign up, we're signing up on Friday, right? And so by Monday we're going to be ready to go. And then we had to wait to watch the videos. 24 hours is like, oh my gosh, this is just excruciating. I was ready.
I love it, man.
And so then when we were finally able to get going, I was sitting here at the computer. I was like writing writing down all these leads and all this shit. And she was like, why don't you just print them off? And I was like, yeah, well, that would probably be a whole lot better. So we ended up printing off a stack of them and just, you know, and going through people search and like starting to look up numbers and stuff. But it was really hard at first to get out of my own head and to actually make the calls, you know, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, you know, I don't really know what to say to these people. I know what you say to these people. And it's trying to, you know, go by that or whatever. But I was like, man, that just doesn't sound like me.
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of put my own twist on it, made it my own. And you know, I just decided that you got to do it. You know, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at this thing on my wall and I wrote, it's all my fault.
Wow.
Whether it's good or it's bad, it's all my fault.
Absolutely.
So if, you know, if I want something to be my fault, I want it to be something good.
Yeah.
You know, and so I started looking at these lists of these people that we have. And every time I write down their stuff and I look at it and I think to myself, you know, who can I help on this list today? There's somebody on this list that needs help.
Right.
And so that's my motivation. That's kind of my motivation. I want to help these people. The bank don't need their money. These companies don't need their money. Those people need their money. So it's my responsibility to give it back to them if I can track them down.
Right.
You know, and that's kind of what made me get out of my head. Once I realized that this wasn't about me, I'm gonna make my paper. My paper's gonna come.
Yeah.
You know, my bank account is gonna thank me. But do you realize how life-changing that some of this money can be for some of these people? Yeah. I watched my dad go through. You know, he almost lost his house, and man, that's tough. So, yeah, it's kind of my motivation. You know.
Dude, I love it. And it's crazy you bring that up because I literally just made a video like 10 minutes ago talking about, because I get probably 2 to 3 emails a week from our students that are like, Spencer, I watched the course. It's amazing. I want to get started. What do I do? And I'm like, dude, just get on the phone and make the calls. But then they come back with, but I'm scared to make the calls. And I'm like, but you're not thinking about the big picture. You got to think about the big picture. And the big picture is like, you might be scared to make the calls, but what are you really doing? You're helping people, right? When you have that in the back of your head, it changes things. It's no longer about you. And for you to be scared is actually, and not for you to be scared, but for you to not make calls is actually kind of a selfish thing because it's preventing you from helping people. And so I love that you bring that up because that's one thing I've seen a lot. And for the people watching this, it's like, if you're hesitating to make the calls, like I understand it can be a little scary at first, but you got to just dive in and do it because obviously you're going to help yourself. But more importantly, you know, there's tons and tons and tons of people out there that need your help. And that's why you're doing this. So I absolutely love that, man. That's very true.
And you want to know something that's crazy? This is like I was making calls last night, right? And I got a hold of this. I got a hold of this dude. Answered the phone, and I was like, "Is Mr. Such and Such there?" And it looked like it might have been like a Hispanic name.
Yeah.
And boy jumped all over me. He was like, "Bro," he was like, do I sound like that's my last name? And I mean, he cussed me up one side and down the other, dude. And when I got off the phone, I was laughing so hard. And I was laughing so hard because I was like, man, look, the next one of y'all that call this dude, y'all gonna get it worse than I got it. Because he's gonna light into you guys. So if you're out there, watch out. There's a landmine waiting on you.
I love it, man. Yeah, and it's funny though, because sometimes getting that first person to yell at you is actually a good thing because you realize like, okay, the worst that can happen is someone's gonna yell at me, which is not that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love it, man. And it definitely becomes a game at some point. It's like, all right, yeah, dude, this dude yelled at me, like, whatever, man. My man just lost, you know, whatever amount of money he was owed. You know what I mean? It's like silly, but I love it. So after you started making the calls, are you guys following the 10 contacts a day, or are you going on your own? Like, what's your call schedule like right now?
I mean, yeah, it was kind of weird because it's, you know, with our situation or whatever, we kind of have to do it as we can do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of times I might have to go out into my office, which is my truck. That's where I make my calls from.
I love it.
You know, because what you see behind us, the 2 rooms, that's what we got right now.
Right.
But you know what's crazy is once you do start making those calls, you think about it. I've got 3 that are supposed to be going on a track, and we made a deal that we were only going to charge 20% just across the board, you know, because it really on those smaller amounts, those people need that money more, you know, because they're in tougher situations. So we figured 20% across the board. Anyway, in 3 days of making those calls and just trying to burn down the list, meeting as many dead ends as I could meet just to talk to one person.
Yeah.
Once all said and done, in about 8 weeks, once we get these contracts back and get them over to the attorney, man, I clocked $20,000. 20 fucking grand, dude. I've never seen 20 grand. Are you kidding me? Dude, I'm so stoked. And you know what, man? If that don't light a fire under your ass to make some calls, my gosh, what's it gonna take?
I love it, man. Huge, by the way, huge congratulations, man. That's huge. That's awesome, man.
I appreciate it. But that's just the beginning, man. Because we've got our sights set. And what's crazy is we're going to system. There's a lot of people who are now deceased, and one of the things that we want to try to get into is getting in touch with the beneficiaries of these people, because they would probably appreciate having this money back. And it's a goal of ours in this next year to give back, to try to get back $1 million. I know that sounds like a lot, but we're 10X in this baby.
I love it.
So we're going to try to get back $1 million to just those families alone. Yeah. That's our goal for 2019.
That's awesome, man. I love that goal. And by the way, this is a perfect time to talk about. I love that you're setting goals, because I think one thing that we need to do a better job of, the other surplus warriors in our group, is like, you guys need to set not only call goals for how many calls you're going to make, but like, dude, how much freaking money do you want to make? Like, how much money do you want to help people recover? Like, you got to set your goals, and then you got to 10X it. So I like that you brought that up. But I see some of the people, it's like, oh, I want to get a deal. It's like, awesome. So start with getting one deal. But once you get a deal, then what comes next? Do you want to get 10 more deals? Do you want to make, 100,000? Do you want to recover $1 million? What is it? So I think it's super important that you have a clear compass. You know what I mean? A clear goal set. So I love that. And so you said your goal, just to recap, is $1 million recovered in 2019?
2019.
I love it, man. I love it. That's awesome.
And you were talking about goals, and you might hear my son running around behind me.
No worries, all, man. I love him.
But a lot of people have what's called a vision board. You know what a vision board is? Mm-hmm. And I had to make it a little more personal. And so what I've got put up there is, I put up one call away from, and then I've got a list of all the stuff that I'm one deal away from. Yeah. And mine says all my bills being paid for 2 months in advance. Do you know how big that would be for us? Right now, as I'm sitting here, I'm behind on my truck payment. I haven't made my truck payment yet for this month. But you know what? I'm one call away from having all my bills paid. I'm one call away from having that truck paid off. Yeah. Think about your goals, because a lot of you that are starting out in this business are probably in the same kind of situation that I am. You just want to get ahead. You just want money in that bank account. You just want, they're little goals right now. But as you start achieving those little goals, man, your goals are going to be bigger. Because now I'm going to be one call away from going on the fucking cruise that I want to go on, taking my wife out to eat at a different restaurant every night if that's what I want to do, making sure that my son has cool toys, whatever it is. It's just, your goals are going to change.
Yeah, dude, that's huge. And one thing I'll tell you this, man, is a couple weeks ago I was in Texas, and I was at this business mastermind, and the guy speaking, he was telling a story, and he said his biggest regret. He's like, he just turned, I think he was 35 or something. He's like, his biggest regret in the first 5 years of being 30. He's like, all my goals I set, because he follows through. He's like, all my goals I set, I followed through and I accomplished those. He's like, looking back, my biggest regret is I didn't set big enough goals. He's like, I could have 10X'd my business. I could have focused on the bigger things, but instead I'm focusing on the little things. So you're absolutely right. Start off with the little things, get those things handled. But once you're at the place where it's like, okay, where can I go from here? What's the big picture? What do you really want? I think is the big question. And if it's going on a cruise, it's going on a cruise. If it's buying a house, it's buying a house, whatever it is. But figure it out, dude. I absolutely love it. So, and I love your one call away too. What did you guys make that up, or like where did you come up with that?
Nah, I was sitting here, you know, and I was thinking about how can I motivate myself to get out of my head and to make these calls, you know, and so I'm one call away from never having to work at Olive Garden again, where we both currently work, you know. I mean, the Olive Garden's great, but I don't want to fucking work there. I'd rather eat there.
Right.
You know, I'm one call away from a decent house, you know, moving out of here.
Right.
And get my family taken care of. I'm 2 calls away from being in a really cool fucking house. You know, it's all going to change. But, you know, then I made another list. And that's the list that I set down in front of me when I'm looking at these names.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm one call away from helping return a lot of money to somebody. I'm one call away from maybe dramatically altering somebody else's life for the better.
Yeah.
You know, I'm one call away from impacting somebody, and that makes it personal for me. And that's what really drives me to make these calls.
Right.
You know, so I've got 2 lists. I've got my list for me, my family, and then I've got my list to try to help other people, because that's really what it's all about. And if you start putting other people first, then you're going to get.
Right.
As you can tell, I'm a very emotional person,
Oh, I
so
love it, man.
it starts to come out, you know.
That's great, man. I love it. And so when you're calling those people, if you don't mind me asking, if you're okay sharing this, you know, you said you've got 3 deals right now that you're working on. And, you know, are these, first of all, I'm just curious, are these newer leads or are these older leads?
I think these leads are from 2017.
Okay, so 2017.
And one of the reasons, and I'm gonna spill one of the things that is, like, I guess one of my little secrets is I like the older leads, a little bit older leads, because it seems like when you go on True People Search, the information is a little more current.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get, especially with a lot of the younger people, you're going to get a lot of wireless numbers, and people tend to keep their wireless numbers nowadays. So you're going to find a lot of wireless numbers on there.
Gotcha.
Those are going to hit because most of the landlines are dead, unless the address is changed on True People Search to a more updated address, and then the landline might be current.
Right. So, because let me ask you, you've talked a lot about empathy. Now, was that something that you developed over the first couple weeks of making the calls, or was that like your mindset going in?
No, that was something that really hit me the last time that I went to prison.
Okay.
I decided to finally accept responsibility for my actions and my part in everything. And I decided, for the sake of my family, that when I came out on the other side, that I was going to be the best version of me that I could be. And so I started reading everything that I could read.
Yeah.
I started studying, and I watched the environment that I was in. I'm not cut out for prison. I'm not prison material, you know?
Right.
And, but I would watch the interactions of the people there, you know, and I finally realized one day that the only way that we're going to get over all this bullshit in the world is if we love each other. I mean, I watched a dude get his face sliced for a plastic water bottle in prison. I mean, people walking down the steps and getting stabbed in the neck, you know, I mean, just the craziest things that you just never would think that you would see.
Yeah.
And the only way that that's ever going to be overcome is if we love each other. That's it. And when I came out the other side, I decided to make a lot of changes in my life.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. And so then you've taken that mentality, now you've applied it to this, and I'm assuming to other areas of life, which is huge, man. Which is huge.
Yeah, I have. And this is why whenever I found this, I was like, bro, this is like the perfect marriage for me. I'm like built for this shit because I get to help people. Yeah. And I get, you know, I'm kind of one that likes to stick it to the man. Okay, yeah. So it gives me a little bit of get back to see these people get their money back from all the banks and stuff. You know, because you know, you think about it, when the housing crunch hit, that's when my father's house went into foreclosure. and all the banks got paid off. They were the ones that got saved. My dad's house didn't get saved.
Yeah.
This dude over here's house didn't get saved. The fucking banks got saved.
Yes.
So this is kind of my way of, my little get back.
Right.
No, I'm talking to Spencer.
No, I'm totally with you about it. And it's funny because I've heard other people say that too, with the just trying to stick it to the banks. And it's huge, man, because you're totally right. I mean, especially if you look at like title reports, these banks are getting paid off for all this stuff. And if we can help those people in that way and get our own little, piece of revenge at it too, as it may be, it's definitely a good motivation. So gotcha. And then, so how many days consistently did you make calls before you had your first deal or your first lead or yes, or I don't know, whatever you guys call it. But one day. Was it your first day or the second day?
That was my first day.
Oh, wow. And so what, if you don't mind telling that story, I'd love to hear that.
Well, I was going through my list, making calls. Can I help this person? Can I help Denise Davis? Can I help this person? No, obviously not, because these are all dead ends. And then the dude answered the phone. And I was like, oh shit, what do I say? And so I was like, hey, you such and such. Yeah. Did you used to live off of, just like following the script. Just, like just do whatever. And I asked him, I was like, well, how's it been for you? Because I want to know his story. And he was like, well, it's really sucked. He said, when they foreclosed on him, he ended up having to live on the streets for a couple of weeks before he even had a place to stay.
Wow.
And when I'm sitting here, I'm like, listen, bro, your name got kicked up into my system, and if it wouldn't be here unless I could help you. Would you be open to allowing me to look into this for you? And he was like, yeah, man, that would be great. He was like, anything would be, at this point, he was like, I'm renting a room from somebody. Could you imagine if that dude got back his $20,000? Do you know how much that would alter his life? I mean, bro, that's big for somebody in that situation. So yeah, man, and that's kind of what motivated me to make my second. It's on the second day, I was making calls, and I got through curveball. So I'm making the calls. Who can I help? And this lady answers the phone, and I asked for the dude's name that was on the list.
Yeah.
And she said, he's dead.
Wow, yeah.
And I'm like, and that's exactly what it sounds like. What do you say? What the hell do you say to somebody that tells you that on the phone? I've never experienced that before.
Wow.
And she hung up on me. And I got to think, I was like, I was thinking about her situation and like how painful it must be for her.
Yeah.
And I remember, the pain that I felt when my sister passed away.
Right.
And so I sent her a text, and I was like, listen, I know what you're going through. It's tough, and unless you've been through it, you don't know.
Right.
I said, and I think I can help you recover some funds from your old property.
Yeah.
And if you would like me to, I would like to help you if I can. And it wasn't 5 minutes later, she called me back.
Wow.
And she told me how hard it had been for her. Excuse me.
No worries, man. Holy moly.
Yeah. So, it was awesome to be able to tell her that I could help her.
Yeah.
And she's just, when I got off the phone with her, she was just like, she was almost in tears.
Yeah.
She was telling me, she was thanking me profusely for continuing to try to pester her to get her, to get her on the phone or whatever. Because, she was telling me how tough it had been for her after her husband passed away.
Right.
And so you've got to remember people you're going to run into a lot of different situations, and there's going to be 1,000 reasons why their home has been foreclosed on, and they're all probably going to be different.
Yeah.
If you can take your time to put yourself in these people's shoes, if you can identify with them, dude, every time that I've talked to somebody, they've ended up saying yes because I identify with them.
Yeah.
I'm just myself. Listen, I'm from the country, and we're a little simple around here, but I identify with people. You
I love
know,
it, man.
so just keep it simple. I mean, if I can do this, man, anybody can do this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Dude, that's huge. Wow. I mean, I think that's such a powerful message too, because there's been people that have come through this program that are like, you know, from sales jobs, and they're salesmen, they've been salesmen, and they think that they just get on the phone and they just make a call and they just try to hard sell people. And that might work for some people, but for the vast majority of potential, you know, deals out there, you have to talk to them because they're human beings. You know, it's not a robot. You're not, you know, selling to another company. You're selling to, not even selling, but you're just talking to a person. And if you're not able to get on the phone and hear their story and be able to, like you said, identify with them, I think that's huge. So that's definitely, and so you would say that that's definitely been your one secret, has been being able to get on the phone and identify with people.
That's the biggest one. I mean, it's if the only way that you're going to get these people to do business with you is if they trust you.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't trust you unless they can identify with you. It's just not going to happen. Bro, the first thing in their fucking head is going to be scam. This motherfucker's trying to get my money.
Yeah.
He's trying to scam me. He wants my identity. I don't know why. I've just been foreclosed on my credit shit anyway, but he wants my identity. You know, I mean, that's, you know, but that's the mentality. That's you know, we've been, you know, bred this whole, you know, everybody's trying to steal my identity mentality. And so that's going to be one of the biggest hiccups. And so the only way that you're going to get over any of that stuff is if these people see a real you know. I don't mind telling somebody, you know, listen, you know, I'm good at what I do. This is what's crazy. It's like once you get that first deal, right, it's like it's traction and it's momentum, and you're like, okay, I mean, now you're talking to this next person on the phone the next day, and guess what? Now you've got a story. Now you can say, well, you know what? I just helped a man yesterday who had to live for 2 weeks on the streets after he got foreclosed on.
Wow.
You know, and it's a horrible story, but I had the opportunity and was fortunate enough to be able to help him, and I helped him get back such and such my dollars. You know, you ain't even got to say that. Just whatever it is. Now you've got a story. And now they're sitting there, oh, well, if he helped that person, well, maybe he can help me. You know, and like now when I call somebody and I leave a voicemail or something, I hit somebody's voicemail, I just say, listen, I'm trying to reach such and such, and I help people who have been foreclosed on. And if you would, please just give me a call, and I put my number out there and hang up. Because that's what I do, man. I help people who've been foreclosed on.
Yeah, dude, I love it. And so let me ask you this: for somebody who's brand new to the course, doesn't even watch the videos yet, but is watching this, what advice would you give them?
Get through the fucking course. that's the first step. You got to get through the course. If you listen, I'm not too bright. But if I can follow them little steps like Spencer's got them put up, and I can do all the little stuff that they want me to do, and I can invest that amount of time in me, look, you already invested the money. Okay, you were willing to invest the money. So you took the first step. Now the next step is getting through the course. Once you get through the course, man, do what my wife did and print off a list and start putting the numbers on there and start calling people. It's really simple. Like, I've been like completely amazed at how simple this is. Now, you know, you're always in any business, you're always going to have hiccups. Okay. And it's not any different in this business. And I don't know when you're watching this, but you know, right now, this is all relatively new. Still getting the kinks worked out, man. And you know, there's some little bullshit that goes along with that. But bro, like, you're getting in on a really awesome thing. No matter when you're seeing this, because you got to think about this. This is just the first step. California is just the first step. I want this shit in North Carolina. I want this shit in Florida. Do you know how many deals that is? You would never be able to find. I mean, my gosh, that's so. I mean, this is just the beginning. So, come on, Spencer, get the fucking move on, dude. Let's get this shit in North Carolina.
I love it. I love it, man. I know it's funny because we've had so many people be like, when is it coming to Georgia? When is it coming to North Carolina? I'm like, dude, trust me, I want to bring it over there too, man. Like, our goal is we want to help as many, like, just so you know, our company goal, we want to help as many foreclosed homeowners as possible. And obviously California is a big state. There's a lot of people here. But not everybody's in California. In fact, most people are. So yeah, we want to try to get to everywhere, every other state, as quickly as possible. But yeah, man. So definitely. And, I appreciate that. And it's funny because I ask everybody that I got on an interview with, I ask them that same question and they all say the same thing. It's like, dude, go through the course and make the fucking phone calls. Like, that's literally what it comes down to.
It's really that simple. I mean, I've been, because, you consider flipping houses and all this, and you get lease options and all the crap, just the stuff that goes along with all that, man. This is so easy. Y'all have made it just simple.
Yeah.
The whole surplus list thing that you got going on, bro, that shit is gold.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Yeah. And one thing too, I'll say that holds a lot of people back, and I don't know if you want to add anything to this, but I've seen people that'll come in and, they'll watch the course, but then they're like, okay, I watched the course. Now let me go make a website. Okay, I made a website. Let me go make sure I understand the contracts. And it's like, for me, like, dude, you got to go through the course and then just make the calls. Don't worry about anything else until you make some freaking phone calls. And then once you get a yes, then worry about the contracts, right? But like, you got to go step by step. You can't jump to step number 5 when you're at step number 1. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that, because that's that whole you got to get out of your head thing. That whole building the website and that whole I got to go read the contracts and I got to do this and I got to go. Let me go see what's on the Facebook group and let me, come on, bro. Listen, okay, I'm one of these people that you just gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? You can't go to the store and then take a nap and then, do all this other stuff. You just got to make the calls. Just make the calls first. Figure the contracts out later. You've got to get a yes. If you don't get a yes, none of the other shit matters. So once you've got the knowledge, you're going to have the knowledge, everything that you need to know when you go through the course. So you've got everything that you need to know at the moment. So then just make the calls, find the people, make the calls. Eventually you're going to get a yes. You're going to find a lot of dead ends, but that's it, bro. You're mining for gold. You don't think gold diggers just like went into the mines and just like, oh, hey, there's a pile of gold. Yay. We don't have to work for it. It's sitting right fucking there in a wheelbarrow. Come on, man. I had to work for that shit. Work for it.
I love it, man. I love it. I love it. I think we'll wrap it up with that. If you have any other closing thoughts, anything else you'd like to say, now's your chance. And if not, we'll end it here, my friend.
No, I apologize for all the foul language. I was a little rough around the edges, but I hope you found something here of value anyway. If not, Spencer, just chunk it in the trash and we'll start it. We'll do another one.
Absolutely not. Well, this is what we'll do. We'll upload it and we'll let everyone review it. And if they like it, then maybe we'll do another one so we can get them a part 2. And if they didn't like it, we'll definitely do a part 2.
All right, let's get a thumbs up.
Sounds good, man. All right, guys, let me know what you guys think. And with that, thank you very much for getting on the call. Hopefully you guys did learn something. I know I did. And I will see you guys. Oh, one more thing. I will not see you guys. Make some freaking phone calls. Okay, and then I'll see you guys. All right. Have a good one.